All right, so today's video, we are back with another quick play warrior video. Hi, Sully. We're back with another quick play warrior video in which we will watch a player in a quick play game and a rank game. Sorry, let me rephrase this. They have a lot more hours in quick play than they do rank. Sorry, Sully was being funny. This should be a good one here, and I'm looking forward to everything on this one. So that was a rough intro, but we can blame Sully, right? No, I'll never blame you. Good boy, buddy. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I've followed you for a long while, and I love watching your VOD reviews. It was nice to see this new cold play, this new quick play warrior series come up on my feed today. I'm a support main and have been playing this game since release, Overwatch 1. I have 3,186 hours total played, with 2,955 of those being in quick play and only 157 hours in comp. That is a huge difference. I honestly just prefer to play quick play over comp because I enjoy being able to play whatever hero I feel like. I don't have to stress out about counter swapping or having to play whatever is optimal. In quick play, I can really just focus on having fun, doing what I want to do. Even though I'm a support main, these replays are actually me playing DPS. I've always liked Pharah's design, but people always instantly counter swap her, turn me off from trying to play her. Not long ago, I decided I'd just go for it and try to learn her against counter swaps. I look forward to your feedback. Hope you all enjoy. All right, so we'll watch the rank games and the quick play game. This is the quick play one. I will admit, Pharah is also my least played hero in all of Overwatch, believe it or not. So there will be a bit of learning curve for both of us. I have an idea of what to do, though. So here we go. It's very interesting to see how this one's going to go right here, because I feel like on this map, you want to go for spam from an angle. So, like, what I mean by that is, you want to play opposite direction of where they go, because if you go into them, you're going to fall over. Thankfully, you're going up against a Reinhardt who's just kind of holding his shield up. So that's interesting, to say the least. Good job going for the Vendetta. Unfortunately, you got rolled by blocks. See that block mechanic right there? Pretty sweet. Now, there's two different playstyles I see. You have the aggressive Pharah and you have the spam one. Personally, I hate going against the spam one because I can never get an effective range. But you're doing a good job so far of just staying, you know, up on high grounds, trying to be aggressive when you can be, but a lot of spam. It's a lot of spam, a lot of spam, a lot of spam. Yep, honestly, like, I actually didn't even mind that aggressiveness. I just would say probably go up a little bit higher in the air there, even though you don't have as much room to work with, because the Kiriko was able to headshot you pretty easily. I mean, that's normal in general. Kiriko's like a DPS half the time, but yeah, that's it. That's one of those things where, like, I like the aggression, just try to make your movement a little bit less predictable. Whenever I play against a Pharah, the predictable movement is definitely a lot easier to deal with, of course, because, like, it's just easier to predict. Yeah, I mean, but I do like your at least the aggression you have at times. I love how you're just getting challenged by this Kiriko at all times. There you go. You have your ult. This is where you can start to get kind of quiet if you want. I'm gonna see. Here we go. I like that ult. I think the moment you popped that ultimate or thought you wanted to do it was the moment you saw the Lucio low, and if that was the indicator, I think that was the correct play. I think when you can guarantee a kill with the Pharah ultimate, it's usually a good thing. Now, there's a way to go about it that I get rolled by sometimes. Why is the replay so fast? This is normal. And that's basically where you kind of hide and seek it for a little bit and just wait in a corner and then just ult when you, like, when they kind of go by you. You can usually get at least 2 elims for 1. Like, they might trade on you, but you get 2. And that generally will win you a team fight and force out cooldowns. So it's just really hard to react to it's a little bit easier to react to an ultimate right in front of you where they can see you in comparison to, like, kind of playing hide and seeky towards that. So that's kind of how I would see that one, you know? All right, here we go. I do like this. And this might be a good map just to watch in general because we don't get too many Atlas games nowadays. Atlas has kind of grown on me. So I do like your position in here. And what I mean by that, chat, to show people, if you're going to play a spam hero or a flyer hero, like, being able to kind of maneuver around this part of the map can go really well. I think you can go this way. Maybe there's an invisible wall, but I'm more than positive you can. Like, being able to control the outside of the map here is very scary. Like, so say I'm a DPS, for example, here. I'm afraid to go here against Pharah because you can just go over here and get booped off, right? So I do like you trying to establish positioning here. because I do think that you can control this, and if they try to fight you for it, you are one of the few heroes here on your team that can specifically deal with that. So I do like the approach to this. This just goes in general for this point, is like, I think a lot of people funnel here and kind of get stuck in this area. But like, do you notice how in this area, if you get stuck here, you kind of like go into these like small chokes? It's not advantageous, right? But here you have a lot more open. There's a lot more open. There's like health, there's a health pack here. It's a mini, but like minis are good for a lot of the DPS characters. You have, you know, ways to escape out. You can eventually rotate if you need to, but I really do this. So believe it or not, I will say Atlas has grown on me more. Here's my take on Atlas, and it could be a hot take or not. I hate the middle point. I don't mind the other points. I think the other points open up. I think they kind of created the same issue they did on a map like, I wouldn't doubt it if they actually change this in the future with Atlas. Do you know how like they opened up Junker City, right? You remember how they opened up the rooms? They did the exact same thing on the middle of Atlas. The exact same thing on the middle of Atlas. So I wouldn't doubt it if eventually they open it up a little bit more than they have it now. So, but the other like 4 points are pretty solid. Speaking of the boop off the map, you didn't get it there, but do you see how much control you have of that side of the map by being able to do that? That's what I'm talking about. So nice decision there on that one. So, yeah, like the first part of Sightline. I mean, the first part of Atlas Middle is rough. The rest are a little bit better. Are you talking about, when you say Sightlines, are you talking about the ones on the other side? That I'm thinking of the middle point? Because that one has some problems too, if we're thinking about the same one. Which I think we might see that point later on. We'll go by point by point. I do like this ult. Again, I do want to get you. I want to get you in the habit of being able to play mid range too. So what I mean by that is I think your close range is like your go-to. Your long range is long range, right? I actually don't even mind that play. Again, this goes back to the low HP. Keep in mind with Pharah Ultimate, you're going to trade sometimes. And like, I know I don't recommend trading, but sometimes like Pharah Ultimate does so much damage that it's really more of like 2 to 3 limbs for one of them. I don't mind that aggression by you. What I'm saying by mid-range is I think that you opt to sometimes get aggressive into their team when you don't need to be. So the mid-range would be more of like this range here, where you can kind of maneuver around like this and not always opt to just get right in front of them. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's not bad to go for aggressive plays like this, but I do think if you work on this part of your game, kind of like this range, I think you'll improve a lot, because right now I feel like you think you need to get really aggressive on them and just dive them, but like you don't have to do that as Pharah. If you can find a really good mid-range, you'll be in a good spot. Also, look at this Bastion. This is a different take on Bastion. I still love, what season was this? I'm not even talking about the ramen noodles here. I'm talking just about like Bastion looks more like a turret now. Anyway. Big slam. Dude, I love that momentum right there. Holy crap. All right, so you get the point. Good job. All right, on to the next one. On to the next one. Garden. Okay. On to this point now. Which one is this one? Go hard or go home. I'll see if it's the middle one. Yeah, this one. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, no, this isn't, but this is one thing they have a lot of cover, and it funnels you on chokes again. I think they're going to open this up one day. Do you see what I mean? It's very choke heavy at times. Like, I think they try to keep it open space, but they kept it kind of, it's not the worst, but I think on both of the sides, the other one over here, see what I mean? Like, I think they'll open it up eventually, just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Keep playing your distance. Yep. Again, you opt to be really aggressive. To give you an idea, like if you get killed by a Lucio at that range, it's not impossible. Or you get killed by a Lucio as Pharah, it's not impossible, but if you do, it usually means you're a little bit too close. Okay. Overall, though, it's not too bad. I mean, again, a lot of this is trying to figure out where I think your rank is going to be. So I'm looking at multiple different aspects of it. Mechanically, not bad. I mean, you hit a good amount of your shots. Again, I do think you need practice at the mid range, which just takes practice, of course, and obviously you're willing to, which is nice. Projectile aim's pretty solid. Remember, anybody, what projectile aim means, you have to lead your shot and predict. Hit scan is where you just aim on them, and that's where your shot goes. So the Pharah ultimates haven't been bad. They've been aggressive ones, but they've been like very well timed, and I'm okay with that. These are the moments where you can be a little bit more aggressive on them because it's a 5v3, right? Obviously, like, when you're up in numbers, you can start to snowball them more, so of course take advantage of that. Absolutely. Yep. You said aggressive Pharah is so much more fun than spam. Of course. But you can, if you start mid-range, you can get into aggressive Pharah a lot easier, But that's why you want to strengthen it. I can't tell. Did they Bastion out their team? Man, that Ryan had 0 fun and still survived. Love that Ryan's name, though. Can't disagree. One thing I want you to practice in the future, 2, I want you to learn how to do a flank play or 2. I really think you could benefit from, like, just, like, setting up for a second and just going for a flank play, because you also like that aggressive style. So another way to kind of take advantage of that aggressive style, if you so choose, is to set up for more flanks, because you can kind of just two-shot somebody. So, heck yeah, Umari, heck yeah. You can basically surprise them and get free kills. You want to time it with your team's aggression, so you don't want to just do it by yourself, but like, I do think setting up for a flank would benefit you in future games. And I'm not saying to do it all the time. I want to reiterate that. We're not saying to always flank as Pharah. I'm just saying that, like, when you get into downtime moments, or maybe you're close to your ultimate or something, like, you can go for really cool plays that way that I don't think people even think about on Pharah, because you always think you need to spam, but sometimes it's okay to do a little bit of hide and seek. It also kind of creates a bit of a mind game, right? Because if they do know you're hiding, then they also have to figure out where you are. So there's kind of this double whammy of, like, you can create a lot of space for your team by not even doing anything, which is sometimes a good, like, addition to that. So someone asked a question here, and I'm only going to go off of theory. He says, why in high elo do people like pushing Flashpoint, but in low elo people don't like them? I have a theory to that, but it could be right or wrong. My theory to that specifically is, in higher levels, there's a lot of, like, push and pull. And what that means is, how often in your ranked games, chat, do you see players capture the point or about to lose a team fight, back up, give up the point, and then re-aggress back in to retake the point? How often do you see, the right stuff being used across the board? Like, okay, we're going to only use Reaper Ultimate right here. The point I'm making here is there's a lot of, like, push and pull you have to do in those games, and when you get better and better, the teamwork also gets better. So there's a lot of really cool, like, plays you make in Control that have these really long, extended, intense fights, and you have like 3 or 4, like, a lot of times you can get like 3 or 4 team fights per point, so you get a lot of really quick, like, turnaround team fights. So those maps play really well. It also, for example, a lot of tanks, like, not tanks, but some tanks love Control. Like, for example, if you're a Wrecking Ball player, which you're going to see a lot more Wrecking Balls in, like, top 500, Wrecking Balls love Control maps. I mean, if you have a Wrecking Ball connoisseur on a Control map or even a Doomfist, oh, people just love tanks love those maps, because you can get so much just control right? So there's just a lot of, like, push and pull that happens in those modes for people. And also, it's just quicker games. Sometimes you have players who also, have scrims coming up. So sometimes players will default to that. Also, on top of that, in pro play, if you didn't know this, you don't get to choose the started map. It's always Control. So on top of that, if you're an aspiring pro player at the higher ranks, a lot of the time your scrims are going to have Control be, like, front and center, because Control is the first map, and sometimes you want to set the tone on those maps. So there's a lot there. I know there's a lot of information and a lot of theory on that one. Of course, that couldn't be correct, but I do think there is some pull on that one on as to why. Good morning, Martin. Good morning, everybody. All right, continue on. Sorry, I just wanted to kind of, like, give my thought process on that one. And again, if you have an opinion on that one that's a little bit different, go for it. I'm all ears. It's all about just getting different perspectives. Here we go. I love that. Good spam on the Junkrat. Good option. You know, they can't move from there, so you're putting pressure on their support to heal them. When you Kitsune, I don't mind a bit more of aggressive play. I think that's kind of just getting value out of it for yourself. So that's pretty good. Target focus here, like for example, you saw that Kiriko TP into your team for free and use Cleanse. I feel like if you don't end up winning this team fight, it's going to be the lack of target focus. I think you could have easily killed that Kiriko instead that Kiriko kills you. So, like right there, target focus was a little bit rough. So you want to be, you know, if I see a Kiriko TP into my team and use Cleanse right in front of my face, and you have mobility to be in the air to see that, you're killing that Kiriko. So. Here we go. Ooh, huge. Aggression. Ults have been good. I mean, you've had very consistent ults. Good job. Good play. Also, did you notice something about that play? Now, again, I know you have a Mauga ultimate there, but you flank them. And you see when they don't look at you, how much easier that is? Again, I know they're in an ultimate that they can't shoot you at, but do you notice how they didn't even look at you, obviously? The point I'm making is you can do that without a Mauga ult. You can do that without a Mauga ultimate. Because, like, once the team fight opens up, like, you kind of get lost, right? But when they see you, it's a little bit easier to look for what you're doing. Where do you go to watch the spotlight later? Well, I'll be watching the spotlight later. I mean, there's multiple ways to watch it. Bunch of streamers will be streaming it, so yeah. That goes live at 1 o'clock. I'll be streaming it, watching it, reacting, giving you all my thoughts, and going from there. Sound good? Yes, I do. They do have a Ryan and a Junk. Ryan's. I'm not worried about that, but yeah, Junkrat is pretty good here. You know what? My Pharah is so good that if I'm on Pharah, the other team swaps Junkrat. Like, they go Junkrat. That's how good my Pharah is. Love you going to the outside of the map here again. Again, this is about just understanding map control. You have, like, mobility over here you can use. This is good. Good job. This is actually a pretty competitive, like, quick play flashpoint game. Oh, the shield bash Ryan, yeah. Yep. Here we go. Projectile aim's been pretty solid, by the way. You've been leading your shots fairly well. Like, you definitely have that aspect down. Obviously, you would like to be a little bit more accurate on some of them, but you said you just started to pick up Pharah more and more, so that just comes with time. That mean, like right there, like that sequence on Lucio was solid. Like, you hit a good amount of shots there. Did I just see a Ryan go off the map with your teammate, or did the Ryan just? Yep, sure did. I mean, that might win you the team fight. Nope, Kiriko. I saw the same thing you saw. I would have probably done the same thing, to be honest. That was funny though, right there. The Ryan just went right off the map with the Mauga. You're good with your movement too. You definitely know how to combo your movement. I would probably bump into a wall. How good is Reaper? Reaper's solid. Well, floor Junkrat just traded with air Junkrat. So, you know, that was two Junkrats battling it. Right? Isn't Junkrat just floor Pharah or vice versa? You know? William, they give it the 6 months with the tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. He said bat versus rat. There you go. Nice play. Yeah, your Pharah's pretty solid. I mean, like, let's just look at your scoreboard here. I mean, again, it's quick play, but hey, I mean, 26 and 7, 15k damage. Like, you're not doing a lack of damage. You could use a little bit of work on some ult timings and, like, learning how to flank, but for just, like, a base level of starting to learn Pharah, I think you're doing good. I mean, your team won the quick play. So if I had to guess your rank, I'm actually going to aim pretty high. I'm going to go plat 1. I'm going to go plat 1 to start. I think you're in a spot right now where, I'm just take my slippers off for a second. I think you're in a spot where your mechanics are good. You have good movement. You just need to get the play style down. I think you're in a spot where you're trying to discover what your play style is going to be. So you're getting kind of a bit of both. And I think eventually you'll settle more. But I do really think you need to benefit, like, setting up for flanks more. Again, to reiterate, I'm not saying flank If there's 30 team fights, you're probably going to flank 3 times. There's not going to be 30 team fights. I'm just giving you an example. You'll probably flank about 3 times. The point I'm making is you need to add that in there and sprinkle that in as a play to be a threat to the other team. They have to either think about it or you get a free team fight win. And then the first time you do that, you can do anything after that, and they're always going to play scared against that, right? It's kind of setting the tone for the game. You may only go for 1 Pharah flank ultimate a game, but that 1 flank you do, and if you kind of establish it early, you have that team thinking every single time. So remember that. It's going to be in the back of their mind that there's a possibility of it. So even if you go hide for a second near your team, they're going to start to look for the flank, and that opens up more space creation. That gets less eyes like just staring at you and going for that type of stuff. So anyway, so I'm gonna start with Plat 1. Of course, I think that I just think that like there's a lot of good mechanics there, but sometimes it just needs a little bit of work. So as you climb from, like, let's say Plat 1 up, what's going to happen is you're going to play against a lot of really good hit scans, and that's kind of where we'll see. And this game will kind of dictate that for me, of what the hit scans are kind of doing this game, and then I'll have a better idea. So obviously we're going to Dorado now. This is the ranked game version. We're currently sitting at a Plat 1 guess, and we'll see where this ends up being. I'll make my last guess by the end of this game, and then we'll go from there. Sound good? All right, going for spam. This is going to be a... See, I do like this because you're going up against a Cass and a Ana and an Ashe. Like, you have 3 heroes that can do well against you. I do like the approach you took here. Now, notice something. Just remember what I said earlier on that quick play game about how when you surprise flank somebody, you notice how that Ashe didn't even look at you? Oh, yeah, you don't like the invisible rockets? Yeah, this is just a thing that happens sometimes in the spectator. Isn't it great? Yeah. I want you to think of different approaches to this too. Like, different ways to get to their team. So let me give you an example. You're crossing over to get here. Why not, like, wait here for a second? Wait on your team. I love this skin, by the way. I see it in Stadium all the time. Anyway, why not wait right here for a second? Then your diva starts to engage up, and then you go up behind. This Cassidy's going to fall over. And in fact, I have gotten rolled by this a couple times where, like, you sit here and you're at this angle, everything looks great, and then you fall over to a Pharah or an Echo. So I want you to kind of approach it that way. Think about different ways to either A, flank them, or get set up in positions that when you use your burst into the air, it's a very quick, like, kind of like flank assassin, or like coming from the side assassin. Not like Reaper. Reaper, it takes 3 to 4 shots. But a lot of it's like, there's a lot you can do, so I want you to think about that. More than just going like the default way you would normally go on other DPS.
You have my thanks.
Yep. Thankfully, you get out with 2 HP. There's a health pack behind you, by the way. If you wanted to make it easier, maybe your diva grabbed it. Nope, they did not. So, like, you're doing the approach right there. You see that? Like, that same type of, like, approach. You're just not doing it from further back to where you can get it. A lot of up in their face. Yep. Even if you get traded on there, I think getting the Winston kill would be super effective for your team. Good kill on the Ana, so good play. Good aggressive play. I will say I like your aggression. I do think that, again, I don't want you to be aggressive all the time, but I do like that you are aggressive when you need to be. I'm very much a player who enjoys more being proactive than being reactive, and I think you're definitely more in the proactive style of gameplay from what I've seen thus far. Now it's about kind of reining it in and finding the right opportunity. A lot of that with flyers is what it is, right? Ask chat over the past couple of weeks how many times I have been flanked by an Echo and I can't even react because you don't even know. And the same can be said for Pharah, right? If you do it right, like, you just fall over. So. Or just even get on different angles. This is fine because, like, you're having a spam approach. I would love to see where your rockets are going, but unfortunately it's invisible. So I'm assuming they're near them. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing a little bit of Echo in rank. I'm like, listen, I'm dumb. And it worked. I went and flanked, and I got a bunch of kills. It was great. Yes, exactly. When they redid the audio a little bit back, flyers benefited greatly. To give you an idea, the reason why the audio is like that is because when you drop, like, when you float down, you don't make any noise. Like, so it's just you're a silencer. Good job, though. Yep. Yeah, there's no falling sound. So, like, if you just kind of let yourself float down, they just don't hear you. Okay, so here on second point, you need to set up early here. And I want to kind of give people a little bit of, like, ideas on how to get through second point fairly easily. If you are a tank player in this situation, you need to be up on that high ground right now where the Cassidy is. So if I was on Diva, hey, okay, let me rephrase this. If my teammates didn't make me push card all the time and I didn't have 1,500 hours of objective time because of this, I would be up on the high ground up there, right up there. And the reason why is because you need to deny all this space. You cannot let them get any of this space right here. So, like, you're doing it right, you and your Diva. This is where you take advantage of that. This is the first attempt at second point. You need to just keep this part of the map as long as you can. Unlucky. I get what you're going for, but I actually don't think this is the right approach to an ultimate. I've been pretty happy with your ultimates throughout the quick play version and the initial part, but I want you to think about this at this point, right? You need to, like, look at what you can do over here in comparison to just going for the Winston directly in front of you. Go up into the air, and now you have map control here. No one's going to be able to escape this. At the very least, you can trade a kill, right? But if you kind of just waste your ultimate there, you're going to end up on your back foot, right? And look at you now. Now you're all the way back here. So this is one of those situations where you would want to go this way, right? Deny the space. The reason why people, like, if you can time your first point correctly, you can get through second point just like this. At the very worst, you can reset the ult economy. The ult economy becomes very important. So if you can get out their ultimates, then at the very worst, you've created a reset on this point. So I want you to be a little bit more, I just think you need a bit better at setting up in like team fights. And I think that's something you just to work on. So yeah, anyway. Hey, listen, ult dominoes are huge. All right. Here we go. Oh, wait. Ooh. That was, honestly, like, that was kind of just a good shot by Ash. I mean, like, maybe you could have hit a little bit, but that was kind of just a good play. This goes back to if you were set up in the right spots, you would be in a better spot anyway to be able to kill that Ash. Do you see how this has a domino effect? Are they going to show a new weapon skin later today? Probably, yeah. I imagine they would. I don't think they would hide that. Ambitious to peak the high noon there for longer than what you did. So you notice how, like, your team got it to 0.29 meters? Do you see why I wanted you to play closer up on those doorways? I think you just get the point if you do that correctly. So remember that in the future. Even if you're a tank or DPS, like, Dorado is a journey on second point. If you have opportunity to gain map control, you take that. You take that. I see what you're doing there, Faulty. Dude, seeing invisible rockets sure is something different, but I do understand you're near them sometimes. This is perfect. I can't say anything about your aim because I don't know where the aim's going. Even if you were missing every shot, I can't tell. I know there's hit markers, but you could be that close. So I'm just, yeah, there you go, heck yeah. That's awesome, let's go.
My fists don't miss either.
I think you need to start thinking about going right side. I think you need to let your teammates do not peek. No. Okay. Yeah, don't do that. That was, you were just asking to reset back to spawn. Everybody, I think Moira could have got you from there at that point with how many people were set up looking at you. I do think, okay, listen, do not go right side with your teammates here, please. Yes, thank you. I want to talk about this very quickly, chat. Let's just go up in the air here. If your teammates went this way, I want you to go this way. Let's go up in the, like, up this high. If you don't have like people on this side too, technically the best way to do this would be to split it 3-2, right? So you have, like, maybe, who's your supports? Have your Moira go this way, right, with your soldier, and then have your Kiriko go this way, and then you just, like, kind of, like, flank them. So now the Kiriko can keep you, the Juno I meant, not the Kiriko. Okay, I have the heroes all wrong here. Let me rephrase this. Have the Kiriko go with your teammates here. Have the Juno go here. I don't know why I went with Moira. I get confused. All right. So you have the Juno go with you, and then you go this way, and then you both shoot at this angle. You have Juno ultimate, and then your Kiriko has ultimates here. They're not going to win this team fight, right? You take away both sides. This is how you create angles, and this is how you win team fights. See? That's how you do it. It's really easy, and you create those angles. Again, you going by yourself, I'm okay with. But you need to, I want to reiterate, you can't show yourself too early here. So let's see what you do.
Taking off. Push the payload. 10 seconds. This is our last attack. Finish everything. Let the Kitsune guide you.
Yep. Did they need to touch the, did Pharah need to touch the point there or no? I just didn't see. Was that the requirement? Or did their diva touch? That's why I'm just double checking. I kind of missed that part. Either way, it looks like your team, no? Okay. So if your teammate had the touch there, don't be the one to touch the point. I think you just needed to keep map control. You keep the left side. Obviously, you won the team fight, but like, I think that you could have lost that by just trying to do that pass and across. So, unless you needed the touch. I didn't see specifically. And again, that was just a good shot by Ash. Yes, you could have hit a little bit, but like, I still think that was just a good shot. I mean, you know what I mean? So.
Let's get the payload going. I'm on fire. My head's in the game. Activating self-destruct sequence.
Yep.
Positioning.
Yeah, corners are really good.
Aerial positioning underway. Storm down.
Yeah, I have an idea on the rank, and I think it might be ambitious, but I have an idea. You're in a weird spot here where I still think you should try to go for a flank on the left side here. Yeah. You've heard me say flank a lot. I again want to reiterate. It's just more of trying to get you to take a different approach to your angles. It worked out. I mean, you got killed. I don't know if you'll be able to get the point just because of that bob, but it still kind of worked out a little bit. Wait, you got the Lucio. Oh, nice try. You were in a weird spot there where you're the one on the point because the diva backed away. But I think your team could still clutch this.
Returning to battle. On the move.
Okay. Team gets the point. So good capture. Took a little bit to get everything going there, but you know, it was solid, all things considered. I think that you had a solid approach to everything there. It just didn't go as planned, obviously. So for some of the fights, but no, not bad. Really good. You worked around a lot there. You just made a few mistakes that obviously you can clean up pretty easily. Again, mechanically, I'm not too worried about your play. It's more just about decision making for you right now. And once you fix that, you'll probably be in a much better spot. They're announcing Junkrat's third Junkrat trap. Oh, that'd be something. Yep. See what I mean about the mechanics? Just great Pharah aim right there. Good job. This one's a little bit of a tougher approach on this point. I do think you have to play a little bit more stacked with your team. Only because like there isn't many angles you can go for. This is fine for when they're down in numbers. I don't mind this. I just don't want you to get traded and then respawn, of course. So. Yep. That's if I was playing Pharah. Well, if I was playing Pharah, you would never see me in the air. So that's how the step one is. If you see somebody in the air, then that's not me. All right, that's all it needs to take. All right. Good spam. Good kind of just going back and forth. Be careful with the vortex. Obviously, that takes you out of the air. Okay. So far, fine. You could, if you wanted to, go to where your diva is. This duel is not in your favor, just to make that clear. Thankfully, your teammate helped you. Okay, I want to talk about this. I was playing Echo, and I was playing against a Pharah, and they kept doing that. And I'm just like, dude, all I need to do is hit a right-click and then use my beam, and you're going to fall over. I really believe the Echo versus Pharah matchup in a 1v1 directly in front of you, I would not try to take that duel, is all I'm saying. I think you can do that at that mid-range I had mentioned to you. You don't want to be in that effective beam range, is all I'm saying. If you want to take the duel, okay, but just try not to get close. Be in that, like, kind of in between. All right, anyway.
You have my thanks. Excellent team.
Yep. Yes, I agree with the projectile speed buff. It's closer. I'm just saying, like, you don't want to get, like, that close to the Echo. If the Echo has the advantage in general to begin with on that side. Yeah, that's it. It's just kind of a scary, like, you're just playing into a strength of Echo. When the live stream will be on the timer below my webcam. Yeah. I mean, here we go. I'm ready. So far, you've kind of done what you have to do here. Like, if you wanted to get a little bit more creative with your gameplay, you could go like on the far left-hand side. Like there is a roof over there you can kind of sit on and just be annoying. But like you can also play it that way. Like their team has to make a mistake, so you know don't hand them that that mistake. But you could go to the left over there. There is no timer. I debated myself. 1 o'clock, about 5 hours almost.
Someone call for security.
My bad. I forgot that when we switched to the recording scene, the timer goes off. This person's like, "Where's the timer? Like, what are you talking about? A timer?" But about 5 hours and 15 minutes from right now. Obviously, if it's, you know, on the YouTube lobby different. There we go. And so far, you're spamming. They went over here, so you're going to want to be able to... Okay. Yeah. Dude, it's so weird how... I want you to see this play. Your team engaged. You went in for a flank. No one looked at you. Easy kills. Just remember that. It's okay to occasionally disappear for a second like that and then go for an limb. So, what rank is this? I will guess after. Part of the Quickplay Warrior series. Okay. Did Pharah's ammo shown on the weapon? Yes, there's a few heroes. I think Sojourn's does, and there was a time where they forgot to update that on Sojourn, and people were mad. It might have been Sojourn and maybe even like another hero. Maybe like Soldier or something, like in Stadium. It doesn't update your ammo count. And it's like, what the? No, it wasn't Soldier. I think it was Sojourn. Good play there. Nice 15-player kill streak. Good play, good aggression, good everything. I mean, great ultimate, yeah. Played that very well. That was a good play. Yeah. I mean, listen, I think you have a couple of, like, play style things you need to clean up on. But, like, I do think that you're showing a lot of progress. So, I'll kind of give you the feedback now on stuff. Just start to really approach your engages a little bit differently at times. I love the aggressive play. I love that you know how to fall back if you need to, but we need to find that kind of middle ground for you. So I want you to, you know, occasionally look for opportunity on like alt flanks or setting up behind them and doing those type of plays. And I think you'll end up with good results. There was a lot of good stuff here. But yeah, I think if you really clean that up, you'll be in a good spot. Now, people are going to say, hey, what rank, right? And I'm going to hit tab very quickly, show off the scoreboard here. Great job, great everything. I am going to be honest with you, chat. And this is a bold guess. I initially went Plat 1. I'm going Diamond 4. I could be completely off, but let me explain the reasoning after I look at what the rank is, so you can understand the thought process here. All right? Let's see what the rank is. I'm ready. The rank is Diamond 5. So, chat, I went with Plat 1, Diamond 4. What happens if you average them to? Diamond 5. Let me explain why. And this is why I guessed the way that I did. You ready? At what point did you watch any of the players on second point just stack the card on defense and just stand on the low ground the whole time? When the team that Pharah's on took high ground and went for a right side rotation. How often do you see your teammates in ranks go for right side rotations on the high ground? So, I took into account there was a lot of teamwork happening that doesn't normally happen in a lot of ranks, and no one was really playing the low ground on second point Dorado, and everybody was playing the high ground and playing together as like a team. That is where I kind of came up with the mindset of this is probably a diamond game because of that. There was just a lot of teamwork that doesn't normally happen in some ranks. So that was I was pretty much, I feel like, in range of where that was. I really do believe that it was a lot of how the map rotations happened. I've watched a lot of VODs in that sense of like when you look at those rotations, that's what it is. So not a lot of like slamming on the cart and just like sitting there and hoping for the best. There was a lot of map control on second point Dorado. So there you go. So we were close, not quite accurate on it, but we released it in the diamond range. So there you go. You know, great job. I really do think that if you kept playing ranked with Pharah, as long as you work on some of the things that we mentioned, I do think that it will go well. But yeah, good job, good play. And if you so choose to keep playing ranked, you got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't. Leave a comment. All of it helps. If you want to submit your own stuff on my Discord for most of the videos we do, that's where you do it, my Discord. And if you want to watch more of these, we're going to have them pop up on the side here. Click them. They're good videos. With that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.